And man, those guys are great. They get super jazzed about it, and we end up getting stuff back from them that is, 3 times as good as we had in our heads. So it's it's fun.
That's awesome. Very collaborative sort of process. It sounds like
It is, and you can just see it when people get that look in their eyes. Oh, this is great. This reminds me of this, or they're sketching in the meeting, and then by the end of the meeting they turn their page around, and you get to see this. Yes, exactly that.
nice. And that can like help add creativity even to what you end up doing in the quest design as well, I'd imagine.
Man, it is. It's this circular, this like synergy. We just build on each other. Like I said, we get models back from those guys that are better than we even, or that spark thoughts or quests or whatever that we hadn't even thought of before. Or maybe they'll have an animation that we say, oh, now I've got to do this, and we definitely feed off of each other.
So one of my superpowers while questing is to accidentally pull way more mobs than I actually need to. So I'm going to try and clear through those as quick as possible and avoid pulling anything extra. Alright, another effigy here. I think that's the last of the 3 effigies. Yeah, looks like it is. And, of course, I have to
That's right.
get an extra bird while I'm at it. What?
Spotting's another one of those tricky things, right? I mean, we'll go through, we'll play this a lot, and we'll either thin it out or thicken it up in places. In places like this that are outdoors, where we don't have a whole lot of blockers, sight blockers, we want to make sure that we give you enough challenge that it's interesting.
For sure, yeah. I'm not being overwhelmed or anything right now, which is good. So that was a little sort of like wicker dog thing.
Right. So thematically here, as you're about to see, we got to play a little bit, or you saw her transform there just a minute ago. That was one of the hooks for this zone, was the whole Salem witch, Blair witch kind of vibe, and what would that feel like in WoW? A little background, this zone was actually going to be a frozen wasteland in the north.
Oh, wow.
When we first started developing the expansion. And we got a certain ways down that road, and it just wasn't, people just weren't really feeling it. And the witch hit was just this ancillary, like, oh, it'd be kind of cool if, as a tendril of the story, you've kind of got these witches. But that was something that really resonated and that people latched onto. So we ended up recreating the zone here, and that was one of the things that we ended up kind of tripling down on here. We're real happy we did. It's a really cool hit for a while.
Yeah, definitely. It's a sort of like there's been hints of like witchcraft here and there in the past, but we haven't really had like a real focus on like this is actually the main storyline in the area before. And it's so far it's really cool.
Yeah, it's something. It's translated really well into the game, and obviously it's not it's not the exact Salem witch stuff. It's a WoW version of it. There's a really cool storyline that actually fits in the WoW universe, but you still get that vibe here, and it's something we've had a lot of fun playing with.
Definitely. All right, so now that I have destroyed the 3 smaller effigies, let's try breaking this one down once again.
Learned how to destroy
we did it.
effigies.
Oh, but everything went worse. Everything has gotten much worse.
This is a little foreshadow of the overarching, I won't spoil anything, but of the overall zone story. So as you're playing through the zone, things like this, you'll start learning why and how this is.
So this is like a giant wicker sort of brute monster I'm fighting here. Taken care of. He's going to phase back to his realm. And Cyril, you seem to be doing much better now.
You fixed him.
Fixed him. All right.
Good thing you showed up.
Exactly, yeah. Just go ahead and pick one of those. All right. Meet with Constable Henry Framer at Hangman's Point in Drusvar. All right. Looks like, so that's opened up a bunch of other quests in the area as well. This sausage vendor we were talking to earlier, he also has a quest.
Elijah.
Yeah. Has some issues getting sausages. All right. go ahead and pick up all these quests. We're not going to have time to do all of them, but go ahead and pick them up. This person's grandson has gotten lost around the caves to the north, and the Trogs might have got him.
Later.
Oh, no. And we'll pick up the flight path, because if I have to look at that on the minimap, I'm going to go crazy.
Right. Can't not do it.
Yeah. All right, so let's see here. I feel like the kid that got lost up in the caves had it coming. I'm not going to worry about saving them right now.
It's a good call.
I want to go check out the Hangman's Point, because that says the Waycrest daughter, which was the Kultiras house you were talking about earlier.
Right.
But I also want to find out what's going on with these sausages, because I do like sausages.
So this is kind of another facet, just that kind of in-game, especially in WoW storytelling is we try to be really conscious of what I call player bandwidth, which is, how much are we asking you to remember and how much are we asking you to walk around with, right? We know you've got guild chat going on, you've got, pet battles and professions and being pulled off into dungeons into a totally different space, and so we've got that little top bit of your focus, and we want to be aware of that and really tell these stories, and again, with the repetition, make it so it's really easy to plug back into them. So we've got to be careful about how many things we lay on you at once, and hopefully all these things kind of complement each other and give you that whole holistic vibe of what's going on.
Nice. So I just kind of picked up all these quests here. Can you give me a quick run through of what's going on in this area?
So what's happening here? The guy that you just interacted with I think he went home for lunch. He came back, and all of his buddies who were responsible for the pig farm here have been actually turned into pigs themselves.
Oh dear. Oh yeah, this pig is wearing goggles.
Which, yeah, is a problem.
They seem to have done nothing for him.
Those were not goggles of pig proofing.
There's another guy over here wearing a belt of some kind. What are you wearing, sir? It's a pack pig. So last one was Trevor Hightide. Travis Daybreak.
It's like they sneak in some developer names here every once in a while. We just can't help ourselves. Or it's just an odd name for a pig.
Yeah, I mean,
to stand out.
I mean, I name all of my pigs after WoW developers. So.
Give them a surname. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, here's more of that wicker ecology, right? We're just kind of talking about what kind of creatures we might have in an environment like this, where we've got some witches who are playing around with some supernatural powers, and this is what we came up with.
Yeah, it's a really cool vibe. Like everything has gone horribly wrong, but in kind of a creepy, you don't really know what's going on sort of way. Sort of unknown occult.
Yeah. And just play